Good evening, all, once more to the breach, dear friends. It is Sunday evening as I record this, right before some of us go back to work tomorrow. And I've got a few things to tell you about today's TGO show, where me and my co-host Jay like to talk about video games and everything we love about them, and basically everything next gen this show, which is extremely exciting. So we finally got the price and release dates for Xbox, PlayStation. So as you can imagine, that takes up a lot of the show. I've realised that I have made a few mistakes, or me and Jay have made a few mistakes in the information that we're talking about in this show for a few reasons. One, because the information is being released at a staggered rate, and it's difficult to keep up with exactly what is the official story at the time of speaking. Secondly, didn't do enough research in terms of, take a note of that, and I will do that moving forward, but didn't do enough research in terms of checking the official blogs and things like that. And a specific point to point out is when I talk about Harry Potter RPG being developed by... How exciting is that, by the way? Oh, I hope it's good. I say that that's being developed by Avalanche, which is the same people who made Just Cause. That's not the case. WB Games have got an internal team called Avalanche or something like that, and it's a different team, so that's my mistake, but I'll amend that moving forward. But yeah, look guys, there's so much to talk about in this show, not even including the next gen stuff, so please, I hope you enjoy it. Please enjoy, and we will see you hopefully with a regularly scheduled show at the end of this week. There are a few bonuses coming out, so don't worry about your lack of TGO feel. It is coming, I promise you that. And without further ado, without giving away the entire show, let us reveal the curtain.
Call of Duty Alpha that is free only on the PS4 today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
You don't. I know I've started recording, but you don't have to. You don't have to turn into show mode. Don't worry.
No, I just.
It's cool. Don't worry. I know it can be tiring.
I don't know.
It's just tiring. I know. How is it anyway?
The first game. Well, there's two modes. There's like a 6v6 or a 12v12. 12v12 is very laggy, and the 6v6 was perfect. So they're gonna definitely have to deal with some of the lag issues on the 12, because I don't think they've ever had. I mean, they probably had that in the last Call of Duty where it was like lots of players and obviously in the same game, but it didn't seem to be working that well.
What about the game itself? What's the gameplay
Yeah,
like?
no, the guns feel different. The way your health diminishes feels different. The way your health comes back to you feels different. I mean, I don't know. I haven't played Call of Duty properly since probably Black Ops 4 or World War 2. I've sort of like missed the last one or two. So this is the first time I've played a Call of Duty game in a while. So
did you play Advanced Warfare?
Yeah, I did.
I quite liked that one. I never actually played it. I watched a playthrough, but I bring that up, Jay, because when we saw the Call of Duty presentation, I was speaking to my brother, and I was like, to me, Advanced Warfare had a really good first showing, and I was contrasting that to what I considered bad showing of Cold War, which I'm sure we'll come on to. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't know what your thoughts are. Yeah.
Modern Warfare 3 was probably the worst Call of Duty I've played in a long time. Like I bought it, and within 2 days I was like, that was a mistake, so I just got rid of it again.
Really?
It's so bad. It was awful.
It was not good.
I thought it was a good idea.
Well, finishing off that epic trilogy, innit?
Yeah, I guess so. At that point, I don't think I was even fussed about the story. It was more just to do with the multiplayer.
Do you know what's weird, mate? It's like, I feel like that was when we were becoming conscious as knowing what's going on in the industry. And do you ever have that where you kind of miss a bullet, but you don't really know how you missed the bullet? Like something wasn't right, but you just kind of knew. Like, I didn't know Infinity Ward was going through a lot of turbulence during that period, and yet I still didn't buy Modern Warfare 3 when it came out, even though I probably should have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was
Like,
2011, so that was 9 years ago, which is pretty insane. I remember exactly like where I was to get it and everything. I think I bought it from the Blockbuster in Norwich when it was.
oh man,
Yeah, like that
on the
one.
corner, on the
Yeah,
corner. Yeah, I know what you're on about.
like I don't know. I think it was like barely open at that point, but I think I bought it from there.
What, at midnight or what?
No, I think it's just because it was the closest place, and I couldn't be asked to go to all the way to the city or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Was it in Horsford?
No, it's in Helston,
Oh, okay.
but it's a bit off the beaten path. You have to kind of figure out. It's a bit further up. It's near the boundary. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, I know
yeah,
you. I'm thinking exactly the one opposite what's now KFC, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, yeah.
feel yeah. There's like a Polish supermarket there now. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Jay, mate, listen, we can chat all day. You just mentioned it's been a while since we recorded. We have so much to talk about. I'm so excited. I think we're both energized. I think we're both ready.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm
such a
really
nerd
excited.
now, you know.
How come?
I've literally in the last 2 or 3 years I've turned into like classic movie nerd where I've now got like the glasses and now the inhaler.
Oh, yeah,
I'd
sure.
always see that in movies and go, "Oh, what a nerd!" I'm now that person. Like, great.
You don't mind. You
No, I
don't
like it. I
mind.
actually like it a lot. There we
You
go.
know what
Okay.
you like. Yeah, listen, mate. Where do you want to start? Where do you
Honestly,
feel we should start?
start anywhere. I'm happy to start anywhere. You go and then
Fine. It's about time we address this, Jay.
is it?
We have Xbox price release
Oh,
date,
yeah, yeah.
PS5 price release date. So let's talk about it because I've been eager to know what it is. So, Jay, I'm relying on you to double check my facts here because I
Okay.
kind of know, but I haven't got them up or anything. So,
I actually
hit me.
have an image, so I might be able to send it to you potentially as I'm looking at it.
Oh, you found another really cool image which has all the information on it, sort of thing.
Basically, yeah.
Cool. All right, hit me up.
Oh yeah, it has. I don't think it has all the information, but it has some of it. I think that
Oh,
might just
that's
be more of
good.
a specs thing. I haven't actually looked at it properly yet. Hang on.
No, that's fine. Well done, IGN. The prices are different because they're US,
They
but
are, but you can just
that's
take
fine.
$50 off of it, and it's the same. So
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's
roughly.
fine. Right, nice one. Okay, so let's go Xbox first because that's where I'd say that's where our third party allegiances lie at the moment.
At the minute, yeah, definitely.
So Xbox Series X is going to be 450 quid. Coming out November 10th.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Xbox Series S, long rumoured. They finally announced that. I think they announced it the day before they announced the price and release date for both of them or something
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
like a day or two. Yeah.
Quickly on that, Jay, don't you think it was a bit weird they just announced that in a tweet rather than a showcase?
I mean, I guess, yeah. It was a
I
little
thought it was
strange. I
weird.
don't know. Maybe they just didn't. I don't know. Maybe they knew that the PS5 one was coming up, so they thought they'd like sneak in there just before rather than set up a whole event for it.
Sure,
I don't know.
sure. I won't go into the height and stuff because like people can look at that, but essentially the Xbox Series X seems to be the cheaper, no disk drive, lower specs version of the Series
Hang on,
X.
say that. Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But at the same time, there is rumours that Xbox have got in the background basically a Series X without a disk drive, and I'm praying they do because the Series S just does not cut it. It's got
Well, this
faster
is
load.
yeah. I don't
Go
think they
on.
will. I don't think they do. I really don't.
Really?
No, they don't.
Oh, that's bad if they
I
don't.
think that's their way of making more money. You know.
Just having a lower price console.
Yeah, like they'll sell more of the cheaper one, um, for the people who don't have as much money but who still want a console that will do better than the previous one. But then they'll sell the more expensive one for people who just want the best of the best. You know. So they'll still make a decent amount of money. I don't know if they'll beat out PlayStation in how their price models work, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that, Jay, because I want a cheaper Series X basically, and I don't want a disc drive in it either. I don't want a disc drive. I like the idea of this all digital version, but let's move on to PS5. So PS5 coming out November 19th, the same day as Cyberpunk. So is that right?
19th for us, but the 12th for the US, Canada, Mexico, Japan, and a few other
New
places.
Zealand.
New
Great point,
Zealand,
Jay.
yeah.
Great
Basically
point.
everywhere that's like really, basically everywhere that's within the closest vicinity to Japan is getting it before the rest of the world. The reason why that is because there's, PlayStation 5s are probably made in Japan, so they can ship them closer to closer countries, and then Series X is being made in Germany, so they can ship it to the European countries quicker than the other ones. Even though they're a bit more central, I'd say Germany is in terms of being able to get things out there quicker.
I did wonder why that was. I wondered, is it because New Zealand's quite closed off, so they can
Yeah.
they can have a secure supply chain there? But that's a
I
great
mean,
point.
America's like right there. There's a bit of a sea to
Yeah,
get across, but it's
yeah,
in comparison to the rest of the world, it's like right there. So
yeah.
yeah,
So this kind of leads on to the further conversation, Jay, of pre-orders came out. They didn't announce them on the showcase. It's an absolute mess. I don't know whether you got one or not, but it's an absolute diabolical mess.
no,
They seem to be all sold out, at least in the UK.
100%.
It doesn't look. It could be a Wii situation where we ourselves don't even get one till 2021. What? Give me a.
No, it's strange. I think yeah. So the pre-orders for the PlayStation have already been and gone, and they're all sold out pretty much everywhere already. They
Yeah.
did say that they've got more PS5s available on launch than PS4, which was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I reckon, yeah, in the next couple of days, we'll see. Before the 22nd, we'll see that they'll be. They won't have sold out. They'll all be back again, hopefully, because I don't think you can even pre-order the Xbox until the 22nd anyway. So
Yeah. Let me just quickly say about the price. So
what
the
day is the
PS5.
22nd? Tuesday. Okay.
So the
Double
Xbox
check
comes
that.
out on a Tuesday, PS5 on a Friday or a Thursday, something like that. So the PS5 disc drive one is $450, same as Xbox Series X.
Uh-huh.
For what it's worth, I think we're both grateful it's below the 500 mark. Period.
100%. Yeah, I think 500 was
Yeah.
sort of like my limit, really. Anything more than that, I would have been annoyed at.
Yeah, I think they've done well there. And the true shock, Jay,
Yeah.
that is the PS5 all digital edition, which has exactly the same insides because I checked.
Okay, it
As the
does.
disc drive, apart from the disc drive itself,
Yeah.
is 370 quid. Is that correct? Yeah,
I think 360, 370, somewhere around there.
360.
Yeah.
That is unbelievably cheap.
Yeah, that's kind of disgusting,
Unbelievably
honestly.
cheap.
Like,
I
as
mean,
long as the digital edition is as good as the normal one, I will get the digital one for sure, 100%. Because it's just like it's £100, roughly £100 cheaper, but I'm never going to buy a physical, disc again. So there's no real need to. So yeah, we'll see.
so on this little image that IGN have put together, they've got 4K, 120 hertz, 8K support for both. They've then got storage size to be announced on the digital edition, disk drive none, of course, on the digital, and also width is to be announced on the digital compared to the width,
Yeah,
which
just
is
because it's missing that initial disk drive section, so the width is
right,
slightly different. But I don't think
right.
that doesn't really matter too much.
It looks like it's got the same insides, and by the way, PlayStation haven't really gone into their insides, which is fine, I guess. But it's just something
It's
to point
because they
out.
know they haven't technically haven't got the same power as the Xbox.
Right, you're
They're
right.
slightly under. They both try to get to the same place differently, but the Xbox manages to get there with slightly more power than the PlayStation. But it is fairly minimal, so I don't think it's really going to affect things too much in the future. It's kind of like just choosing between like two different brands, really. You've got technically the same output, it's just different brands. I guess I don't know, something like that at least. Anyway.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so glad we know, Jim.
Well, we were expecting this information at the end of August.
Mate.
So it's almost been a month since we thought it was going to be available. All this stuff. So
At this point, I wasn't going to be surprised if they announced that they were both delayed, Xbox and PlayStation. But
no, I mean
it's out there.
the guys at Xbox said that they would literally do anything to make that not happen. They was going to come out holiday 2020. It wasn't going to be 2021.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, I think we're both grateful that it's not 500 quid. I'd really like an Xbox Series X without the disc drive to knock 50 quid off the price. That
not gonna
PS5 is
happen.
fair enough.
I
That
mean,
PS
you can be hopeful, but if they haven't announced it now, it's not happening. Not for like another year or so.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. If it doesn't happen at pre-order date, then it's not happening. And the PS5 digital edition, I mean, that's cheaper than the PS4, Jay, at launch. It doesn't make any sense.
Is it? I mean,
Yeah.
I bought my PS4 for like 250. I want to say,
Oh, that's cheap. Oh,
and that was with
I
no games. That was with like 2 controllers, I think.
I mean, let, let me check this. But I think
It
PS4 at
could be wrong.
launch
Oh, you're
was
talking about at
400.
launch. I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about now.
No, no,
No,
no,
at
no.
launch, then probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh,
I think.
350. So it's 20 quid more.
Yeah, sure.
Right. I was getting mixed up. I apologize. The PS3 came out at 425.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The PS4 launched at 350, which the PS5 is still dirt cheap. I mean that is just Jay, we've got to talk about this, man.
Okay.
Xbox threw shade at PS5 somehow. I don't know how, right? About the pre-order issue. And I was just there thinking, yeah, but Xbox, it's like the best issue to have, really, because at the end of the day, they've said they've got more PS5s than PS4s at launch, and they're all selling out. And we all know why that is.
I don't
Because
think that. I
everyone wants.
think that's just so they know what to do with the next set of pre-orders. I think that
Okay.
should. So I think the first lot of pre-orders was so that they knew how many needed to be sent to shops, like as physical editions, rather than like a number in like a computer somewhere. It's more of a like, well, how many physical ones we actually want to send to these warehouses in these countries, kind of thing. So
I hope that's the case,
yeah,
mate, because I was just thinking the whole time, like, well, everyone wants a PS5, clearly. Clearly. I
no.
mean, Jay, I'm not being funny. I think PS5 is going to sell 5 million units by year's end. I think it's going to be ginormous for 2021. I think it's going to demolish Xbox at this point. I believe that.
Yeah, and I do need to get a PS5. I just don't know when I'm going to get it.
Are you still? What are your thoughts, Jay? You're hiding behind the cover. Are
No.
you happy about the PS5 cheapness? I think you are.
Yeah,
Are you?
massively. Yeah.
How? What's making you stick to the Series X? Is it the better
It's
specs,
yeah. No,
essentially?
I think it's primarily. I mean, I could technically get Valhalla and Cyberpunk on PlayStation. Um, I don't know. There's part of me that wants to not get the X because I could just get everything on PlayStation, but I don't know. I think I need to like really think about it in the next couple of days.
What's the percentage, mate, at the moment?
To me, it's weird. Like the Series X just looks better to me. I'm more
Mate,
excited about how it is than how it like anything else.
completely agree. Jay, I stand by what I said when we saw the PS5. It only looks worse. It's looking worse even months after the reveal. It does not look like a good console.
I
I'm
mean, we might
sorry.
we might get used to it. I don't know. It could also be that I've seen the Xbox for longer, so I might already be more
Sure.
used to it. Because they hid the PlayStation for so long, where we've seen the Xbox for bloody months longer than we've seen the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so exciting.
I feel like you kind of have to have one of each just in case as an exclusive, right?
I mean, to be fair, bless Xbox. They're limited exclusives. I think for me, I want a Series X because there's better specs. And Gabe, is it Gabe Newell?
Hmm.
He just convinced me that
Oh, what
the
with his
Xbox.
interview in New Zealand
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the Xbox just being better, and his answer just being because it is. Like that's literally what he says. He's like, yeah, because it is. It's just better.
Yeah, like comments like that make me
That
think,
made
all
me
right, fine,
laugh.
I'll play third party games on that. But I'm not being funny, Jay. The PlayStation exclusives, even in the first year, are just going to be unbelievable. We're talking Horizon 2, we're talking Ratchet and Clank, and Spider Man in possibly the first 6 months.
I say Spider-Man is a launch title now, isn't it? Which
Which
I
they
mean, they didn't actually mention it on the event, but it was listed in the PlayStation blog. So
have they come out with the launch titles then
yeah,
now?
there's a list. Yeah,
Oh, Can we go through it? Is that all right?
I mean, I have to find it again. I mean, I don't know if it's all of them, but it's definitely the ones that were involved in that
Okay, in the conference.
in the event. Yeah,
I've got
PlayStation 5
7.
launch day games from
I've got
SIE Worldwide Studios. So Astro's Playroom will be pre-installed on PS5, which is annoying. Demon Souls is launch day.
Did they say that on the stream?
Nope.
Why not?
Destruction All Stars, whatever that is, and then Spider-Man and Sackboy Adventures.
And then the third-party ones is Just Dance 2021 and Godfall.
There you go. Do we know if Godfall's launch?
Yes, mate. Confirmed a day ago, I think.
Yeah, that's annoying because that makes me want to get a PlayStation even more now.
Is that exclusive?
Yeah.
Mate, that's a hell of a launch lineup. I mean, that again, I know I've said it over and over, but that's a fairly strong launch lineup.
So with PlayStation, I've got Mars Morales and Godfall, and then with Xbox, I've got Cyberpunk and Valhalla. Even though Cyberpunk and Valhalla I can both get on PlayStation. So I mean, it's coming close to like 50-50 again. Honestly, I think it's just more down to personal preference at this point.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same
because I can afford them all, technically. Whether it's a good idea to actually buy anything at the minute is up in the air. Honestly,
a lot to think about, a lot to ponder over. Which console to get, which games to get, and they're all going to be 60 quid at least, which is another.
Yeah, I think they're basically saying that everything's £10 more expensive than it used to be now. So instead of it being £50 or $60, it's now $70 or £60. So
it's going to be 60, is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All new games are going to be 60 now. Yeah, which is asking way too much, if you ask me. But there we go.
I agree.
But I still think 50 was too much.
50 is a lot.
I thought to me, like 45 was like what it used to be.
I remember PS2 being about 40.
Yeah.
And then I remember Tomb Raider Legend was the first game I saw in GameStation, and I was like, 50 quid.
Yeah, whatever.
And then now it's suddenly like, it's got to 55 through the digital versions, I think.
Yeah, 55 digital. Yeah.
100%. And now it seems to be 60. Thing is, Jay, that doesn't equal in proportion to dollars. It should be $70 and 50 quid.
Well, maybe it is that. I don't know.
I'm hoping it is, because I had this debate with my brother.
Let me reopen that blog, because I'm pretty sure it said about prices. Unfortunately, it doesn't say. Yeah, $70 whatever $70 is in pounds. Let me just check that.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, it's £55. There you go. It's still 55.
Boom.
Which is still technically £5 more than what it used to be, right? Technically, I guess.
Well, if they keep the digital versions at 55, I'm a happy man.
Yeah, I think digital might now be 60 then, because they're usually £5 more digital.
Which doesn't make any sense, by the way. Literally no sense.
I think it's like ease of purchase. Like you don't then have to go out and get it. Like I mean, weirdly, you're paying more for less of a game, right? Because you're technically, if you buy a physical, you've still got to buy the plastic that comes with it.
Yeah.
And technically, you'd think you need to pay more for that, but obviously not.
Right, literally. But then if you be fussy about it, you've got to think about your transport costs to the game shop. You've got to think about your time.
I guess that's what they've done that for. Then, yeah, it's a lot. I think a lot of it is just time. You're paying an extra £5 to not have to go out for the day and spend like 3 or 4 hours traveling to go get something.
Exactly, it's convenience cost.
Yeah, it's convenience cost, definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
So we know everything now, mate. I'm going to press pause now, I think, for us to talk about some other stuff, and then we can come back to the PS5 event, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah. Circle back around.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add at this stage? This initial.
What you want me to talk about? Oh, just reaction stuff? Nah, not really.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can potentially come back to that, maybe, or just whatever.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, I've talked quite a lot. I've ranted a bit here at the start of the show. So, what have you been playing? Keeping an eye on?
I'll touch on some stuff. Actually, I need to just like. So we both. Actually, we'll talk about that later. That's fine.
All right.
Avengers. For me. Actually, have I played it today? I don't think I've played it today. Yeah, I've slowed down a lot on it. I've definitely put in well over 100 hours at this point. We'll talk more in depth about it probably on a special at some point, but I'll just give my they've fixed a lot of the bugs. A lot of the bugs are no longer there. It's still at this point, it's more fixing just like how the game is now, with like the loot system and stuff like that, more than anything else. Because there still seems to be a little bit of like there's like a wall that's a bit like I've hit that I can definitely get past. It's just I haven't been able to get the right stuff to get past it. If that makes sense. Like it's very grindy at the minute, so I'm hoping they'll make some changes eventually. But I think it was worth it initially. Those a good 2 weeks or so. I mean, it's technically 17 days it's been out for me, so I've put a good 2 weeks in, which is pretty good for any game really. But I'll continue to keep coming back to it with DLC and stuff. What's after that? There's Cold War I spoke a little bit about already, but I am weirdly I'm looking forward to this Call of Duty actually from what I've seen so far. I don't know about you. Like you're not too fussed about this one?
I don't want to put you down, mate, but
no, that's fine. To each their
I
own.
really, I'm not feeling it at all.
Well, I'm going to be playing it basically for the next 2 days anyway.
Sure.
So I'll probably have to get back to us on that to give my because it is just an alpha. It definitely doesn't feel finished from what I've played so far. So
I worry about why this game in particular they've released an alpha because it's
that's what I was going to talk to you about. Yeah,
and the fact that we're getting more and more of these alpha betas, whatever you want to call them, but they just seem to be too early.
I'd say they're not, honestly.
Okay.
I'd say if a game is willing to have an alpha and have it public, to me that just means they're more willing to fix it now rather than they release it after the beta and it still have problems. Like they're basically the alpha is to be able to fix things for the beta, and then the beta is to be able to fix things before release. So that if now we've had this alpha where it's happening now, we're going to be able to have a lot less issues during the beta, and they're going to be able to fix things a lot, that they would have come across during the beta anyway. So they're going to have a lot. They're going to have at least, because it comes out in November, so they're going to have at least 2 months to be able to fix everything now. I think they've probably finished the campaign at this point, so I think a lot of it now is just more to do with the multiplayer fixing than anything else. So yeah, the longer the better for me. I'd rather games. Oh, that's another point. Cyberpunk was supposed to be released yesterday if it hadn't been delayed.
Wow.
Either yesterday or today.
Wow.
So if it hadn't been delayed, I'd have been playing it today.
Wow. Did you watch the Night City Wire thing?
I did, yeah. It was very minimal information. It was more just to do with PC recommended specs and minimal specs, and then just like some history on the gangs, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Basically everything I already knew because I've obviously read the book.
Hey.
But people who hadn't, they would have learned at least a little bit from it. So
sure. Okay.
I was watching the stream being like, yeah, I know that. Cool. Makes sense. There's a lot of details they didn't go into, and I was like, yeah, I actually know the proper details of that. So I've got the one up at least. So
that's
cool. No, that was alright. They're kind of gotten less and less interesting to watch, I guess, or just like there's the information I guess that we've had is they're not really going to give out too much more before release, I don't think. So any sort of Night City wires we get from now on probably aren't going to be that interesting. Or maybe they'll do like a big one, but nearer to release, and that'll give us a lot more information. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. I can't see him releasing too much more information at this point. Maybe just make sure you guys are safe when you get your copy. Here are the retailers we recommend. I don't know, like if they need to do that. Kind of.
Maybe. Yeah.
The file size is this big. You might want to leave this.
Yeah,
much
they did
time.
talk about that. Yeah, I think they said about it was 70 gig on PC. So whether it will be a similar size, I think it's supposed to be a similar size on consoles.
I know it sounds like I'm being quite pathetic in terms of the preparation for this game, but I think we can all agree that this is a monumental arrival. So
what, Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Back on the Call of Duty thing, for me, it's the publisher going to the developer. We need to get an alpha out there because we want people to buy this game, which we know isn't coming up to standards, and we want them to play it as early as possible. Furthermore, I don't think that many Call of Duties previously have had alphas, which then also gets me concerned as well. So I'm actually the opposite from that. But it's
I can't remember if this more recent one actually had an alpha or not. I want to say it did.
It definitely had a beta, right? I think they all have a
beta.
Yeah,
it had like 4 betas. It went on forever.
Oh, okay.
Same with Avengers, I guess. But I think it's probably going to become more of the norm now with Call of Duty, them having alphas, because they know they're going to be able to fix things quicker that way. Because the best way to fix something is to know the issues from the actual player base rather than just guessing or figuring it out in house. So
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I guess there's a new one here. I don't know if you watched anything to do with the latest Nintendo Direct Mini. I guess they call them now. Um,
Mate, no,
so
I
you didn't play Monster Hunter, did you? Monster Hunter World?
nah.
No. So yeah, Monster Hunter World was pretty big and it made a lot of money for Capcom. And so what
Yes.
they've done is they've basically made another version of that, but for Switch only.
Is Monster Hunter World on Switch?
No,
Is this a version of Monster Hunter World?
not really. It's basically this. It's Monster Hunter, but a new game called Monster Hunter Rise. It's set in like a similar world, but it's more like Japanese in styling. There's a lot
Of
more
course it
like
is.
and how it
Cell
looks.
shading? Yeah.
No, it's just more like a lot more like traditional Japanese looking. It looks a lot like Ghost of Tsushima, I guess,
Okay.
just old Japanese looking. And they've added a load of new like monsters and creatures and mobility options and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm potentially going to get that. It comes out March next year, so I got my eyes
Ooh.
on it. It doesn't look great, but only because it's on the Switch. Obviously, games that aren't on Switch aren't going to look fantastic compared to console. But Monster Hunter is one of those games that doesn't need to look good to be able to be good.
Yeah.
Evidently, with the DS, like it was so bad on it looked awful on the DS, but it played amazingly and always has done. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Monster Hunter games did really really well on PSP as well. So they're trying to like get that audience as the audience that used to have PSPs but now have Switches. So they're like, oh okay, we got something to actually play on our handheld devices. It's actually up to par now. So yeah, that
Yeah,
could be
that's
good.
cool,
That
man.
could be really really good.
Did you check out Super Mario 3 All Stars and all that drama,
I
mate?
don't. Mario is just like, meh.
Oh,
We've had this conversation.
we
I'm
have.
done with Mario.
Listen, I gotta bring it up, Jay, right? Because I'm laughing. I'm watching these reviews and gameplay of people playing it, right? And they're like, it's Galaxy, it's 64, it's Sunshine, they're so good. They dive into it and they're like, oh yeah, no, the jumper's not that good. Yeah, no, it's in 69 ratio, whatever, the weird one is. Oh yeah, no, the controls are really weird. Oh yeah, no, you have to use the motion controls. Oh yeah, that doesn't really work. Oh yeah, and I'm just like, you're making excuses for yourselves, guys.
Nostalgia. Nostalgia.
Excuses. And moreover, they've released this pretty special package, even though it's got an awful menu and stuff, right? For only limited release. What is that about? What is that about?
I don't know.
Honestly, dude, Nintendo are the worst. They're the worst.
I really do think most of their sales is made in Japan and China. You know, like I say most of their sales come from the eastern side of the world, definitely. Like you'll probably get a good amount in the US, but it's usually all these sort of like 25 to 35-year-olds who are sort of just more nostalgic of it than anything else. So yeah, it's not for us. So you know,
You're right. It's
it's
definitely not
out
for
there
me.
for somewhere. So for someone at least.
I
Yeah.
hope people absolutely adore that package. I hope it's
Yeah. No, I
really
hope there's people
hitting
out there who
some
enjoy it.
people's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
But all I can say is you guys are making excuses for Nintendo, man, because it is unacceptable.
Yeah, they kind of. I think
Unacceptable.
it's more of like a survival thing, right? They kind of have to be able to feel like they can enjoy it more, right?
Yeah, sure.
They're kind of just like shove it all in the cupboard to sort of put it under the rug just to be able to enjoy sitting on the rug. I don't know, whatever they
Yeah,
want
no,
to.
like I've got a messy room. Put it all in the wardrobe. I haven't
Yeah,
got a
like
messy room
it
then,
looks nice, but as soon as you open the door, everything comes tumbling back out again. So
mate.
yeah, don't
Yeah,
open
I
the
won't.
door.
I won't. Yeah, I don't want to hate on it for ages, but man, I had to bring that up because Woo Daddy was that bad. Anyway, Jay, do you mind if I just quickly talk about all the games I've been playing? I've been playing loads of games, mate. I've been playing Doom Eternal.
That's
Yeah, that's
it.
pretty much it. Yeah.
I mean,
No.
you said to me you played a little bit of Destiny, right? As well, you did some of the adventures or stuff or something, or did you
Yeah,
not end up
yeah.
doing that?
Yeah, so I'll quickly let you know. So I mean, Doom Eternal, not much to report, guys. It's a slow progress.
Yeah, with
I'm
you
more
it is.
interested.
Yeah.
All right, I'm more playing Destiny. To be fair, mate, the missions are like at least. I'm genuinely at least an hour
Okay.
or 45 minutes.
Hmm.
But anyway, Destiny. Yeah, what happened was tried to go on it, disconnecting every 10 minutes. I
Wow.
feel like when I'm in the
That must
right.
be your Wi-Fi, right? It must
Well,
be.
when I'm in the right space, dude, I can stay connected for 3 hours at a time. And
Okay.
then other times I'm just disconnecting every 10 minutes. So I don't know what it is. But anyway, yeah, been doing some adventures, nothing new. Just been doing the stuff in the regions we've already looked at, doing things that you probably wouldn't want to do, like the lost thingies,
Lost
sectors.
sectors and triumphs and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, just kind of
I'm not too
grinding a
bothered
little bit,
about
getting
that.
up the light a little bit. No, again, no
Yeah,
story
you were a
missions.
little bit behind me, weren't you? So that
I
makes sense.
was, yeah. And I've got to say, mate, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying looking at the new areas. The guy, I don't want to rattle on, but it's good fun. I'm enjoying it quite a bit,
Hmm.
and I'm sure we can get back to that very soon. Hopefully,
Hmm.
hopefully. Did you check out the video I sent you earlier?
You sent me a video. Oh
The
yeah,
link.
no, I did see it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, mate. Well, that's everything we've been playing. We've got some
Primarily.
really
No, we didn't touch
cool.
everything. Did I play anything else?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
did you
we
play
did.
anything?
Technically, we both did, but we're going to talk about that in a little while. So
Gearbox did their virtual thing, I think, for PAX Prime, and we got a few little announcements for the game moving forward. I say little, it's actually quite big. Basically, Borderlands 3 is very much continuing.
yeah.
It's really great news. The big one for us, Jay, we're getting cross-platform play next year.
Oh thank God, I can finally play with you.
Hallelujah.
Jesus.
Jay, man, I've got a true Vault Hunter playthrough waiting for you to play with. I'm
Yeah. See,
waiting for
I
you.
haven't started mine, so there you go.
We're
Yeah,
good.
I never do true Vault Hunter ones. They tend to not to actually like reward you much more than the other ones because they're supposed to give you more of a chance of finding better loot, but there's virtually no difference.
Yeah.
I can
And the
get the
challenge is
same
so much
loot just as
greater.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was really great. Look forward to that. I can't wait to play with you.
Yeah.
They're bringing it to next gen, which is great. I think they've said they've got 4-player split screen. They've got the vertical 2-player split screen option, so you can go
Yeah, you can
vertical
change
instead of
it. Yeah,
horizontal.
I'll have to get a PS5 for that, won't I? Because I've obviously got it on PS4, so I'd have to get a PS5 if I wanted to play.
Yes.
But I mean, unless I just played it on PS4 and I didn't have a PS5 at the time, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
point. Does PS4 work with Xbox Series X crossplay over, or is it
Great,
just between the next gen consoles?
great question. Or is it
Yeah,
both?
see, we don't know. We don't know, do we? I
We
don't
don't
think.
know
We'll
anything. We
find
don't know
out.
anything.
There's too much stuff to know.
There is too much stuff to know. So that's getting an update. I think they said 60 frames per second, which is wonderful. 4K, maybe. I can't remember.
Yeah,
And lastly, another DLC is coming later this year, mate.
it is later
So,
this year. Really?
yeah. Well, they
That
said
seems too
that.
quick.
Oh, doesn't it just? I mean, I don't think they need one later this year. I say delay it till next
It
year.
has been every 3 months, so September, October, November. So I guess maybe like it'd probably be better if it came out like late December, early January. I guess.
Mate, if it's Christmas themed, jump on board. Here we go.
I mean, I guess yeah, Christmas would be good. I don't know what they do with it, but
They had loads of special themed ones in Borderlands 2. Not sure if you remember, Jay. They had a Halloween one. They had a Christmas one. It was cool. The Headhunter packs, the really small ones. I don't know if you remember.
no, I didn't
Okay.
really. Borderlands 2, I didn't really get that much into.
Really?
Not
Oh,
with the
that's a shame.
DLCs, not really. I mean, I did, but like I didn't really follow it at the time. I think I came back to it later.
Okay.
The ones I
Alright.
probably played the most were Borderlands 1 and 3, or like sticking it, with the DLC at the time. So yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't suppose they'll ever bring cross-platform play to the Handsome Collection, will they?
Be good if they did, but probably not. No, they might
No.
do that in like 2 years from now. Just like once they finish with Borderlands 3 or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
We'll see.
What are your thoughts, Jay, on the future DLC? I kind of asked you on the phone. I think, are we getting a season pass 2, or are we just
Yeah,
going
we
to have
should
to
be able to. Yeah, we should. Whether they'll include it in the original season pass or not, I don't know. Whether they'll make you buy it again, probably, just because they're going to need the money or whatever. Um, yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy that they're continuing after a year still, because it's been a year now, isn't it? It came out roughly a year ago. Um, yeah, I don't know if you were worried whether it was going to finish just after 1 year. It kind of seemed like it was, and then we get this announcement, and it's like, woohoo! Finally, right? I actually know, what's happening. I don't know. I'm kind of just more curious about where they're going to go with it. What other characters are going to come back, or new characters are going to be introduced? So I think what we've learned from this latest DLC has maybe given us a few inklings into what could be next, possibly. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, what do you reckon for the next year of Borderlands 3?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, mate, I was super happy. I think it was perfect timing because it was like a couple of days
Yeah.
after the new DLC, and I was like, well, that's good because we do need to know where this game's going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I say this every time, but I'm so happy when I jump back into Borderlands. So I just hope they keep it going for probably all of 2021. I'm kind of happy with that.
So I spoke before about there being a rumor about a new skill tree for each character.
Yeah.
And now it's true. We now know that at least for one character, which is Flack, we know his new skill tree. I'm more interested to know about Moses' new skill tree because obviously Moses is the person I play. So yeah,
And that's coming with the new DLC, or is that?
I don't know actually. I imagine so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have it sooner rather than later. And I'm hoping they'll go to level 70 as well with it too. I mean, they kind of need to.
We're getting pretty high now, aren't we, with the
Yeah,
levels?
65.
Yeah. What was it on the original game? 50?
72 was the max, I think.
No.
Or was it 81 that they finally went to in Borderlands 2?
I think it was 81.
I think it was 81 as the max they went to.
What was the original Borderlands 3? The core
Yeah,
game?
it was 50.
50.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
pretty sure.
Okay.
It's been a while since I played it.
Yeah. So that was some nice announcements, I think.
Mm-hmm.
On the not so nice announcements, Jay, I don't know if you saw this, but a little game we're keeping our eye on. Kenna or Kena.
Yeah, so I didn't know you were keeping your eye on this. Is this about? Do I know this? Hang on.
Do you know this? Please,
Mate,
please.
my mind's been on other things. Let's have a look. Hang on.
Where's
this
Hulk
thing?
Hammer?
I'm surprised you're keeping an eye
It's
on this. I'm
Iron
not.
Man. What? Jay, it looked awesome. Anyway, just a
To
quick
you,
one.
maybe.
It's been delayed till
You know what
2020.
this is?
Jay, we saw it at the.
I know, but I mean, it looks fine. I'm not going to play it, but it looks fine.
Oh, well, anyway, it's supposed to be a launch title. It's been delayed to 2021, and I was
doesn't surprise me. Although to an extent, I would have thought these kind of games always seem to me like they're always going to come out at launch. But the game looks like they could easily rush this and get it out, but obviously they don't want to do that. So
I also think that would do well as a launch game.
maybe they were thinking that it wouldn't do well as a launch game. Because I feel like it could be a bit 50-50 with launch games. Some launch games just don't ever work, and then other ones just do because they're sold with the console. So you kind of like almost have to play it, you know.
Example from last gen, I think Rise was basic. We only know it today because it's a launch title.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Dead Rising 3 come out with it as well?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that game did surprisingly well for it being a launch title.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't hear many people talk about it.
I think when it first came out, everyone was playing it, but it wasn't for very long.
You know, it's a weird one, mate. When I think back to the launch of those consoles, I was dead quiet on games. I wasn't paying attention to anything.
No, me neither.
So it's really difficult for me to understand what was in the zeitgeist at that moment. And when I did jump in 2014, you didn't realise at the time, but it was a wasteland till about 2016 anyway.
I think a lot of streamers were playing Dead Rising 3, maybe.
Fair.
But again, it's one of those games that lasts about a week and then it just goes.
Yeah.
A lot of them do nowadays. So
I feel like looking back, Jay, we were almost dormant from 2013 to 2016, 17. Really, looking in the wider scope of gaming.
Yeah, I feel like I've been dormant for a long time when it came to gaming, primarily because of having to work, I guess, just like having to sort yourself out. Like when you don't have a lot of time, you tend to not care about games so much. Not really, but when this last 6 months has been pretty eye-opening. Once you have the time to actually worry about games coming out, you tend to get a bit more excited about it, I guess, and you tend to have a bit more motivation too. So, yeah, no, I think that's we're probably going to be somewhat dormant shortly in the next 6 months. I don't know, not like dormant, not like how it was before, but definitely still less than it is now. Even with the next gen coming out, I have a feeling it's not going to be as exciting to us, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Now that we're older, we might actually be a bit more aware of these things. I think age played a lot into it too. Just being young, you didn't really care too much about having to look at something like that all the time.
So. Couldn't afford it. Well, generally speaking,
didn't make any money back then, so couldn't really afford to worry about having to buy something.
I really liked what you brought up, Jay, because I almost welcome the idea of a 1 to 2 year, not dormant, but quieter years where you can really just breathe
I feel
and,
like we're going to get that maybe in 2021 for a bit.
yeah.
It's like maybe the end of 2021, where games are still being produced for 2022, but and maybe games are maybe being started to be developed either this year or next year, and then they're going to come out 2023 and 24. I don't know. We'll see.
And what's more, Jay, because of how the cycles are stacking up, it looks like we're going to get a lot of the key titles for PS5 in the first year, and that can be great. But then 2 years later, you're thinking, where are all the games gone? Like, we've got nothing, you know?
Yeah, they're all being made.
They're all
I've still
being
got.
made.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
all
know.
being made. Yeah. No, I kind of welcome that idea, mate. The idea of having that quiet place,
No, it's good. It definitely allows you to, because you sometimes you need a break, even within. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of gotten to that point now a little bit. Like,
mm,
I've been gaming pretty hard for the last 6 months, and it's
well,
starting
mate,
to
look,
feel a bit like, oh god, now. So
fatigued, yeah.
a
Look
little
back
bit.
when you got PS4 and Bloodborne.
Yeah,
Remember how quiet the industry was back then, if that makes sense?
2015, 2014, maybe
Yeah.
2020, January 2015, I think. Yeah,
It
something
just
like
seems
that.
like a different world.
Massively different. Yeah, very quiet.
It
A lot of
seems that
the
way.
2017, 2018 games were still being developed. Like Odyssey was
Yeah.
still being developed.
God of
Um,
War.
yeah, God of War was still needing to come out. Horizon was still on its way.
Yeah.
There was quite a few fighting
Zelda.
games that were sort of like being thought about as being hopefully good, but actually turned out really bad. Stuff like that. So
Jay, you're
I
a
think,
fighting
yeah,
game.
yeah,
Go
go
on,
on,
sorry.
do it.
I was just going to say, nobody talks about Street Fighter 5, even more over, they don't
I
talk
mean,
about
they
it.
do, but
Do
you're not
they?
you're not in that world. If
Well, the
I was to
fact
say
of,
if I was to say to you, what is the FGC?
Fighting Game Cup.
No, no, good guess. Fighting game community,
Oh, you
right? There's a
bastards.
such thing called the FGC, and the FGC is a very sort of it's definitely not a small group of people, but it's very niche,
Yeah.
and it ranges from people who play like very Japanese air dash type fighting games to very like Western, maybe like Street Fighter, KOF type games, like. And I mean, there's been a whole new plan set out for the next year of Street Fighter content. So, because everyone was thinking that Street Fighter 6 was coming out, but nope, they're just doing more stuff like Street Fighter 5.
Okay. We can
So
talk
stuff
about
like
that
that.
another time, but
Mortal
I
Kombat,
was.
there's loads of stuff coming out for that. Actually,
Okay.
recently came out stuff for that. So
Yeah, no, it's interesting how that isn't really reported by the games media at large, then I would say.
I mean, it is, but it's like you
Very niche.
blink and you'll miss it kind of stuff. Like it'll come
Yeah.
up one day and you'll never see it again for like another month or two.
Okay.
There are actually like fighting game websites that are like dedicated to it. So as long as you follow those, you'll see it every day, basically,
Okay.
which I do.
Well,
So I keep on top
one
of it.
event that you watched live, which I caught up on, I think, was the Ubisoft Forward event we got. So
Yeah,
you might be a better position to talk about some of these games and announcements, Jay, than me. I checked
maybe.
out
Yeah.
some highlights, but I don't think we need to go through everything because this isn't a news catch-up show. But maybe discuss, Jay, what things impacted you the most. I know that one thing that we both, I think, like the look of is this sports battle royale game. Maybe we should start
Yeah,
there.
I don't know if it's like a battle royale. I mean, it kind of is. I don't know. Yeah, it's called Riders Republic. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Steep. Do you ever see Steep?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
played that for a little while. I think it actually became free on PlayStation at some point as well.
Okay.
But it's basically Steep, but with like downhill snowboarding, mountain biking, skiing, and then also like those like squirrel suits, those like flying squirrel suits. But I think it's supposed to have like at least 24 people on screen at a time, if not more. Actually, I think it's supposed to be like 80. I don't know. It's supposed to have like a ridiculous amount of people on screen that are all trying to get to the end first, I guess. But I don't know if it's supposed to be a race or if it's just be like for fun. And some of the maps look very like wacky, and they've definitely got a bit more of like a multiplayer thing. It's a little bit like Fall Guys, where you've got like maybe like domination, where you've got to like try and color up one section and like hold that section for a certain amount of time. Just it looks very ridiculous. I don't know if I'm hoping it'll be in third person, or would it be better in first? Actually, I think you can play it in VR as well. Apparently,
Wow.
so in first-person VR. So no, it looked a bit like I've been speaking to you recently on previous podcasts about wanting a new IP, and this just to me screamed like cool-looking new IP. So yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing you watch the stuff about Rise Republic as well.
Yeah, I just like the concept. I looked at that and I
Yeah,
thought,
concept.
I know it's got the Fall Guys thing, but even at Fall Guys, I looked at for the first time and I was like, hell yeah.
Mm.
I think it's that 1 versus 100 mentality. You remember that on Xbox Live at all?
Oh yeah, wow, bloody hell, memories. Yep, sure.
Memories. Not gonna back that.
Okay,
Yeah. Joe's like, shut the fuck up.
it's really, really good.
Yeah, I really liked it, mate. Really like the look of it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it
not.
just looks fresh and like a new idea, but still with maybe some
Yeah.
old influences just improved upon.
Speaking of new old ideas, ha 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 ha. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. Holy
Yeah, see, are you
moly,
excited about this? Because I'm not that excited about it.
mate! Look, I've played Sands of Time 2 years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah.
and I can tell you right now, it is not my sort of game.
No, I mean, back in the day it was fine. Maybe not so much now. I think there definitely was some level of people wanting this, but I don't think it'll do that well, honestly.
I thought Prince of Persia fans around the world would rejoice at such interestingly new
I'm
and
sure they
exciting
did,
news.
but there probably isn't that many of them. I think that's the issue.
If they were going to remake a Prince of Persia, it's this game.
Yeah, definitely. I will say it definitely looks a lot better than the original. Like, much, much better.
It does, but Jay, from going off, I mean, you're an internet guy. Going off the community feedback, it looks like a lot of people don't like the work they've done to it. It looks like it's not quite next gen enough.
No, I'd say it's like been like 50-50 or maybe 60-40. 60 being bad, 40 being good. I think the people who wanted this are very happy about it. The people who maybe could have wanted more, maybe disappointed. But other than that, I don't think it's too bad. I don't think there's any people who are really really angry about it. Not necessarily. I think we would have heard more about it if there was.
Mate, in a world where we got a Spyro trilogy remake and we're getting Crash 4 in less than a month, I am so happy for everyone who is a fan of this game because this is a dream come true for them, you know?
I imagine so. But again, this kind of game didn't need a big enough budget to be good enough. Like this game, like I said with the new Monster Hunter, like it doesn't look that good, but it'll still play great.
Mm.
You know, if the game, as long as the game plays good and is improved upon enough, it'll be fine. It does. This doesn't need a massive budget. It needs just enough of a budget to be good.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll do. There's no way it doesn't do well. Surely
I don't know. We'll have to
the game's
see
big.
with
It's a
that.
big game. A lot of people like that game. Come
All right, you sound
on,
like very Jerry Seinfeld. Then come on, it's a big.
man! It's a big game. Hey, oh, oh, oh,
Oh,
oh.
okay.
Oh dear.
All right, do you want me to bring up another one? Just read off a
Well,
few more.
yeah. Go on. Yeah, I'm talking too much. You go.
I guess I could talk about Scott Pilgrim really quick. Did you ever play that when it first came out? The 8-bit
I
side-scrolling thing.
I didn't, but it seems like it's got quite a culture and it went off the
Yeah, no, I
store
played
at
that a
some
lot.
point.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim was one of those films that is like a cult classic, and the game kind of became its own little thing too. But it's a 10-year anniversary, and it's come back because they took it off the stores. I want to say 4 years after it came out,
Do you know why?
because I just think maybe licensing.
Okay.
They did a similar thing with a lot of indie fighting games. They're just like completely you can't buy them anymore. So,
Okay.
but a lot of them have come back as like reboots or whatever. But yeah, this is going to be back on PS4 and Xbox One, Switch as well. So I might even get it on Switch. Honestly, I
Fair.
think it'll be really fun on Switch. It's probably not as much fun on console, even though I've played it on console before. But it seems like more
Fair.
of a handheld game to me. So I'll play it
And
because I've played it before. So
another game which seems to appeal to that very small niche, so fair play to anyone wanting this game back. Did we know that Ubisoft had the license all along? Was that common knowledge?
what for Scott Pilgrim?
Yeah,
I don't know. That wasn't knowledge to me. No.
it wasn't knowledge to me either. Okay, fine.
I
fine,
think they
fine,
might
fine.
have been the ones who bought it, maybe, who bought the licensing after it
Yeah,
got sold before or whatever. So
good announcement. Good announcement.
yeah, honestly, that's kind of it. Like the rest of it, I'm not really too fussed about.
Well, mate,
Uh,
we have to talk about Immortals Phoenix Rising because I have no idea who's playing this game.
yeah, I guess that was probably the last thing I was going to talk about, and it kind of, I think me and you spoke about it. It's very like, it's a lot like Odyssey, but for kids, is what it seems
Mm,
like. It's kind of just like the Odyssey story, but a bit more on the mythic side rather than the real life side. I think it's also a character create game, right? So your character looks however you want them to look. It's not like one particular person. It's sort of, you can like make it look how you want to, which is kind of
yeah,
cool. But Me and you aren't going to be playing this, I don't think, right?
I just yeah. The only way I can explain it, Jay, is I look at Horizon trailer and I go like the first one, and I'm like, I'm so interested in this world. I look at a game like Immortals, and I'm like, I wouldn't play this if someone paid me. Now I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just saying my vibe, my taste. It's just not there.
I'd play it if someone paid me. There was definitely aspects of it where I was like, okay, that seems like some of the combat seemed pretty interesting, but I don't think it'll be worth my time ultimately. Like, there's too many games coming out or that will have already been out that will require more of my focus than anything else. So
Yeah,
it's not really
agreed.
worth it, I don't think.
I also see, Jay, that Ubisoft are intending to put Sam Fisher in every single game and not make a Splinter Cell game, so they're now putting
Yeah,
him in
they're trying
Siege.
really hard, aren't
Wow!
they?
Oh
Yeah.
wow! Oh wow! Yeah, mate. I
No.
want your opinion on this though. For Honor,
Yeah. Still going.
who's playing these games, man?
I'm
Who is
trying to
playing
remember.
these games?
I mean, I played it for a while. I think I played it for at least a year. It was really
I'm
good.
just.
It's still a really good game,
Is it?
Surprisingly good. I don't know if you've ever played it, but
I haven't.
it's
But
kind of
my
like a rock paper scissors kind of like fighting combat thing where you've got to point in a certain direction to be able to rock paper scissors your way through a thing. But there's a lot more involved. There's like there's like distance and like weapon, and then there's like different classes you can choose. But there's been so many since I played it, so I wouldn't even know where to start. Because imagine like trying to play rock paper scissors but with like 15 options rather than three. Right, that's kind of what the game has become. It's become rock paper scissors, but now you've also got lizard and Spock and all the rest of it, right? So yeah, it's
Mate, you
interesting.
bring up a great contrast. The reason I bring this game up is because I like the concept of it genuinely.
Oh, I bought it day one. I was so happy about getting it.
Right,
It
right,
was really fun.
but it never like Six Siege. It didn't. To be fair, I think Six Siege did do well critically, but this game came and then it just stayed. And like,
Yeah,
I don't know anybody who plays it regularly. Yet here they are releasing another thing for it.
I'm
And
curious.
moreover, I think it's a great contrast, Jay, because I know we'll discuss this a lot, but Destiny 2, Division 2, I would say arguably you can enter with great effort. For Honor, I don't believe you. I think that's an absolute uphill battle, and I actually think that has great contrast. So you've got the road right that Ubisoft have taken with For Honor, which is we're going to release the game. Wow, it's got a great audience. Let's just keep putting stuff out and see if they engage with it. And they keep engaging with it, and it keeps costing money, which is fine, this new content. And then you've got the other road, which
Mm.
is God of War's finished. Here's the product. You can play it straight off the bat 5 years after it came out and still know exactly what's going on. And I know it's a single player game. I'm just trying to draw the two different lines here of one game, you've got the live game, you've got the game as a service, and then the other one, you've got a product which is finished and people can still buy. And what I'm trying to say is, I'm not sure which one is genuinely more profitable in terms
Okay.
of the live game. You've got people probably paying who are playing it now. They've probably averaged 100 quid of purchases with the game. What's going on? What's happened?
I'm looking at the player stats for Honor.
Oh, go on.
So the most people playing it on Steam at any one point the game came out in 2017, was a year later with 216,000 people playing it at one time.
Okay.
And then the least it's been since then is 2,000. But it's at right now there are 6,000 people playing For Honor just on PC as we speak, which isn't bad.
I mean, that's very, very impressive.
Like, you times 6,000 by £10 for like a skin or something that they keep constantly buying. That's still like $600,000. That's enough money to keep a company going. Like in the last 48 hours, they haven't dropped below 1,000 people playing at any point in time. And the max it's been over the last 48 hours is 6,000 or almost 7,000. So every day is like thousands and thousands of people playing it.
That's crazy. I love the fact they give you those stats. Can you check No Man's Sky, please? I am
Yeah,
interested in that.
sure. So 5,000 people are playing it right. It's actually got very similar numbers to For Honor. like almost exactly the same. So you've got 5,000 people playing right now and 212,000 people playing at some point in time. So
Wow.
the most it's ever had is 212,000 people.
All right, let's continue this. Jay, can you check Division 2, please?
Sure. It's not on here. It's not on Steam. It seems like.
Oh, is it Epic Games Store? It says it's on PC.
Oh, it does. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It's just not coming up on the stats, so I don't know about Division.
Yeah, it's on the Epic Games Store.
Okay, yeah, it's not on Steam. There's no Steam stats for that
Okay,
then.
can we just check one more game as a service game? Is
Yeah,
Destiny 2 on Steam?
should be. 65,000 people are playing it right now,
Wow.
and almost 200,000 people were playing it at its height at one given time,
Wow.
which was November 2019 was when the most people were playing it.
It was the first main console live game, and it still seems to be reigning supreme.
So it's pretty much consistently 60,000, between like 40,000 and 60,000 people per day.
Wow.
Just on PC, so it must be equal to that, if not more, on console. So they're probably averaging at least 150,000 people across all consoles and PC every day. That's insane. So if a game can last on 6,000 on average day, then think how well Destiny 2 is doing in comparison. Like, you really don't need that many people to be playing your game at any given time.
You're right. You just need those people to care a lot.
Yeah.
And I know that the God of War, 5-year development, goes overboard, delays, over budget, but then it sells 6, 7, 8 million copies. So you do wonder.
I want to see what Rainbow's doing right now. Oh
I
my
also
god!
I wondered the same thing.
Oh my god!
Really?
104,000 people are playing it right now. 104,000 people. What? And it's honestly, I'm not joking. Since 2016, the player base has risen. It hasn't decreased at all.
That's crazy.
More and more people have played it every year. From 2016, it used to average 20,000. 2017, it was 30,000. 2018, it was 100,000. 2019, 130,000. 2020, 170,000 average. That's insane. It literally only grew.
It hasn't even reached its peak yet.
I mean, I think it has. It's definitely dipped recently, but it's on its way back up again.
Oh my god.
It was 200,000 at the start of the year.
Okay.
So, and it's roughly 163,000 now, so it's dipped slightly now, but it is on its way back up. But it's literally only gotten bigger.
That's insane.
That's more people than Destiny right now. More people playing Tom Clancy than Destiny. What?
People should look at these stats more, because this ain't talked about.
I know. It's insane. Counter-Strike
right
has got 862,000 players right now. Dota 2 has got 500,000. Among Us 160,000. PUBG.
What's Among Us?
Please tell me it. You're gonna have to cut that out of the podcast. That's embarrassing.
Is it?
Really? You don't know what Among Us is? Mate, please, you work too much. You really are living under a rock. Right, so Fall Guys.
Social deduction game?
Yeah, so Fall Guys.
Yeah.
So the reason why Fall Guys should be the same reason you know what Among Us is. Because all the streamers are playing it, and there's a lot of drama at the minute with like streamers who are playing with each other, who are in like these like rooms together, but they can't. They're like very like clicky, so like then they don't let certain streamers in because you've got to be of a certain like tier level, I guess.
Right.
So Among Us is basically like there's 2 imposters and I think 8 people who aren't imposters, and you're on the spaceship and you've got to try and figure out who the imposters are. And the imposters go around killing people, but there's like limited field of view, so you can't always see who's killing each other. And then every like so often you have to like have a meeting with everyone and say, oh, I think the killer is this person. You've got to convince the other people who you think the killer is, and they've got to vote on who the killer is. And then if the imposters manage to kill everyone before they get voted out, they win, and then vice versa with the other people.
Very good. So it's a virtual werewolf, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Fine. Okay.
It's doing very well. I will say I think it's the fastest climbing game in the last 30 days on Steam. Went from almost no players to 160,000 people.
I
Or 300,000
see. So it's
people.
a
I don't know how you look at it.
recent, yeah. Oh, that's good for the developers then.
Oh yeah, but Fall Guys is like dipped, obviously.
Right, right,
Because
right, right.
no one's playing Fall Guys anymore. They're just playing Among Us instead. Team Fortress 2 is still consistent. Same with
Every
Rocket
Valve,
League.
every
Rocket
Valve,
League and Team Fortress are like basically the same.
every Valve game's
75,000.
consistent, and Rocket League's great.
Yeah, Rust is still doing really well. GTA 5 is better than all those so far.
Okay, Jay. Breaking news:
Yeah.
Observer System Redux is also a launch title.
Okay, I know what that one is. It's that reboot of Observer.
Yes, it is.
Not a very good one, but it'll be, I'm sure.
So,
Redo.
so. Jay, time for the PS5 conference chat.
Okay.
We start with,
FF.
I mean, what do I say about this
So
trailer?
I've learned a few things about this so far. I don't know if you want to know this stuff or not. So one
No,
of
we
the
just
characters in
go
the
on, go on,
trailer
go on.
is actually like one of the main characters in Final Fantasy 14. So I
Okay,
think Final Fantasy 16 is basically the console like story continuation of 14. It's like part of the same universe or
it's
something.
not an MMO.
No, but it's got the same story kind of.
I understand.
There's elements from the story of 14 that I think are supposed to be in 16.
Okay,
They're not like the same, but they're similar in some ways. I don't know. But it also reminds me a lot of 15 too, because they're still continuing with the crystal storyline of how crystals are supposed to be. Because crystals were like basically 13 and onwards essentially, so they're still continuing with the whole Crystallis Nova, whatever it's called. So
Crystallis Novalis.
yeah, whatever that thing is.
Oh, shut up! You were a pro back in summer about all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I've forgotten it because I haven't been playing it.
I mean,
I still
this.
remember a lot, but yeah.
I heard a couple of rumors flying about, but I never expected 16 to be revealed at this conference. Jay, this trailer is one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. This trailer was worse than Bug Snacks, whatever that game's called.
No,
And
that's a lie.
I'll tell you for why.
Oh.
That what was going on? What was going on? That is not how you reveal Final
It was
Fantasy 16.
kind of like a tech thing. It was basically them being like, "It's happening."
That is not how you reveal Final Fantasy 16.
No, usually it's a teaser of
You
I don't know,
show
a
the
character.
logo.
Yeah,
You
you basically
show
just show
the
the logo.
logo.
But they want to show off more because they want people to be like, "Well, look, we're not actually that behind in development."
Considering Final Fantasy 15 came out 2016, we had loads of DLC for it. Some of it cancelled as well. Fair enough. I guess the player base wasn't
I think the
there-ish.
last DLC came out last year.
I mean, that makes me think that 16. You know what? It doesn't make me think. I know 16 ain't coming out till 2022. So why show us this?
Yeah, I might even go to say maybe holiday 2021 if we're lucky.
It's Square Enix. I mean,
I'd rather it be later than that, but yeah, because we're going to
Jay,
be
this
getting Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 in 2022, I think.
Right.
So we don't really want it, we don't want them too close together.
Yeah, 100%.
It's going to be too much of a battle for money.
Well, moving on from my negative reaction of the trailer, the setting, gameplay, we need to talk about this, Jay.
Yeah, it's kind of like old England style, like Game
Where
of
are
Thrones, right?
the officers? I don't know, mate. Maybe we should get the sparkly sword and attack the big monster.
The sparkly sword. That's funny. It almost kind of reminds me of bloody Monty Python.
I mean, it was so British, dude.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was funny.
God.
There was definitely a lot wrong with it, but well, they've got a way to go yet.
What did you think about...
Although they did say that most of the stuff, I think most of the stuff we saw at the PlayStation event was all on PC. It wasn't on PS5.
That one was PC, and then they said after that, most of it was captured on PS5.
No, they said that it was captured to emulate PS5.
Is that really what it said?
Yeah.
Wow.
They said this is all played on PC, and it's supposed to emulate the same specs as PS. So they've basically made a PC that has the same specs as a PS5.
Okay.
And they played it on that rather than playing it on the actual console itself. I think they probably did that maybe so there wasn't any like stuttering or something. I don't know, frame rate issues maybe.
Okay.
Don't know. Or maybe because they actually haven't got a disc to be able to put it in the PlayStation 5 yet. That's probably primarily what it's about. But yeah, I don't really want to like get too hung up on Final Fantasy 16 right now, just so I have more time to like not want to worry about it. Like I'm not looking at it right now going I'm looking forward to this. I mean I am, but I don't really want to like be like oh I can't wait because then I'll be waiting too long for me to my care will have left by that point.
Are you glad it was announced, revealed?
Yeah, I'm kind of wishing they just shown
The logo.
maybe a little less. Maybe if they just did like I don't know.
A
I'm
couple
glad
of, like
we
a
saw a
dialogue,
lot,
like a
but
dialogue exchange or something like that.
maybe just something that gives you a rough idea of what time it's set in and the dragons and stuff. But they didn't really show everything. I think they actually showed a little bit too much, but we'll see.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, they showed what basically looked like the final boss battle
Yeah, it kind of seemed like it. Yeah,
because it is the logo as well.
yeah. It
Um,
almost seems like the world isn't that big. It
yes,
makes it all look
agreed,
quite small, but I imagine it'll probably be a lot bigger.
agreed. And the biggest news, Jay, it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. I'm pretty sure that actually no, it wasn't. 15 came out on both at the same time. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing that. I guess it is just because of the whole Sony thing. I imagine, right?
Well, that's weird because I told
Japan.
you they're bringing all the Final Fantasies on Xbox, so it just seems weird to suddenly go, "Oh no, 16's exclusive."
It could
Why?
also be like it could make people want to buy the PS5 now, if that makes sense. Like if someone
Sure,
was on the fence and who was someone who was a Final Fantasy, um, what do you call it, fan,
fan. Yeah.
and they're on the fence now, they'd be like, right, we'll show them the 16 trailer now and tell them that it's coming out exclusively for PS5. They'd be like, right, I'm definitely getting the PS5 then. I think it was more of a marketing scheme than anything else.
Do you think it's timed?
Yeah, massively. I reckon
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the release of the PS5, this wouldn't have been shown until next year. Maybe not until another year. Maybe Tokyo Game Show next year they wouldn't have shown it until.
Sorry, I meant, is it a timed exclusive?
Oh, maybe.
Okay.
Hard to say. I mean, they might do that just because they can, and maybe they'll get more money out of it. I don't know. Maybe they've not done enough with licensing at the minute. Maybe Microsoft aren't willing to do any contracts yet because they know that Sony will probably want that more. I don't know. I'm sure there's weird like law talkings going on. I'm not sure, but some weird behind the scenes stuff.
I'm going to go in your mind, Jay. By
Oh,
the
you
way,
know,
I'm sorry if I'm disrupting you a lot. I
bit
know I'm being
invasive.
quite interrupting this
No, you're
episode.
good.
Okay.
You're fine.
I'm going to
I'm
go in your
glad.
mind, and I'm thinking that you're already thinking, because I'm already thinking, Final Fantasy 16 gameplay looks a lot like 15. It's going to be a 100-hour RPG. I don't need that right now.
Is that what you're thinking to me about me?
I'm
I mean,
thinking
I'll
that.
probably want that nearer the time, hopefully,
Yeah, sure.
because I've played so many Final Fantasies this year that I don't think I can play another one right
Yeah.
now. But maybe in a year or two, sure.
Sure.
You
The
know, give me
worry
enough
is,
time.
Jay, I guess, is that if part 2 comes out and it's as loved as part 1, it's going to outshine 16
Part two
even.
is going to be so much better than part one, I reckon.
Okay.
Because part one didn't actually show that much of the actual game. Part one was just like the beginning of Final Fantasy VII. There's so much more to go. I can't wait for the next lot. The next lot's going to be bloody insane. Like graphically, like what they're actually going to show off. I mean, you barely saw anything,
Yeah.
even though you saw a lot. But, they extended the
Yeah.
game massively. So
Yeah.
yeah, lots to look forward to.
All right. Well, we got some meaty Miles Morales gameplay, which was welcoming.
Yeah, some
or
pretty
welcomed.
decent gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Again, showed on PC and not on PlayStation, which was weird.
is that right? Are you sure?
I think every game at the event was shown on PC, even the Call of Duty. Everything.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they
I
said.
think it was PS5, but we'll move on. I think, Jay, the reaction coming from this trailer is it's cementing the fact that this is a expansion of the 2018 game. I don't mean that in a negative way, but this is not a sequel to Spider-Man 2018.
No, it is. It's definitely a sequel. I wouldn't say it's like a sequel, a Peter Parker sequel. It's just a Spider-Man sequel. If that makes there's a difference.
I see it as a spin-off. I see it as a spin-off.
I mean, yeah, you can see it as you like, as whatever you like, I guess. I think this game will be as long as the other one, hopefully.
I'll take your bets on that right now, mate, because it ain't
So
gonna be.
I want to say the first game was maybe 20 hours,
Yeah,
24 hours maybe. So this one, if this is around 20 hours, it'll probably be fine.
dude, this is gonna be a 10 to 12 hour game.
I hope
I
not, because
promise
you're
you.
paying the same amount of money, which is annoying.
Yeah, I was just about to check what the price was for this.
That's the same.
Shut
Fully
the
priced
front
game.
door.
Pretty sure it is.
Let's have a
From
check.
what I saw on the blog, anyway.
How could you possibly think I want fucking curtains from typing in Miles Morales?
What?
What?
Oh, actually. So the base game is $50, and the special edition version is $70. So you actually might be right. We are technically paying less
Dude,
for the
I'm
base
telling
game
you,
itself.
it ain't a full. I don't mean
Nah,
this in a harsh way, but it ain't a full game.
it's not. It's definitely going to be. I reckon it'll probably be closer to 15 hours, maybe like 12 to 15. I don't think it'll be 10 to 12. If it's 10 to 12, that's probably a bit embarrassing, honestly.
It could be a really good 10 to 12.
Because it did say just the Tinkerer as the villain, but whether or not it's going to be more, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine.
Sure.
I mean, Spider-Man had more than one. It had like what, 7 or 8 in the end, though.
Yeah, standard edition. Oh, I don't know. Standard edition, 51 quid, 52
Yeah,
quid.
yeah.
I can't. I mean, Jay, this ain't going to be. They've only had 2 years. There's just no way it's going to be a full.
Yeah, but it took them 2 years to probably develop the actual world itself. So technically, you could say it's had at least 4 years development if you're not including the actual world, or if you are including the world,
I guess we'll see when it comes out. We'll,
because it is the same city. It's just a different. It's a certain section of it.
yeah.
I think it's
What
just Harlem. Whether or not it's actually out, it's actually the whole map or not. I'm not sure.
you're massive on the first game, mate. What's your hype level for this?
I'm excited to play a Spider-Man game. It's just I'd rather it be a new Spider-Man game and not a Miles game. Miles is cool, but he's not up there for me. There's only one Spider-Man
Sure.
for me.
Oh, I mean,
I
I
mean, there
get
there is
arguing that point.
multiple Spider-Men.
Yeah.
There are multiple Spider-Men and women, but for me, my favorite Spider-Men are Peter Parker and like the variations on him during different timelines.
Yeah.
Like there's like Spider-Man Noir. It's probably my other favorite. Spider-Man 2099, but he's technically not Peter Parker. He's like a different. He's like the Peter person after Peter Parker. So I mean, whatever.
All
Should be
right.
fine. I mean, I'm more excited about Cyberpunk at this point.
I was going to say, I guess your mind, in a
Yeah, my
similar
mind
way,
is
how
elsewhere.
how we're prepping for next gen. Our minds are also thinking, well, anything past November 19th is a no go until Cyberpunk's done anyway. So
Yeah, Cyberpunk. I'd say my list of priority in order from 1 to 3 is probably Cyberpunk, Valhalla, and then Miles.
really,
I'd say yeah, or maybe even Valhalla and Miles are like the same.
I would
Hard to
love
say.
the opportunity to play Miles over Christmas.
Yeah, I'd probably say I might even leave it until like later to December. I might even do like Cyberpunk, Valhalla, Call of Duty, and then Miles,
Really,
just because I'll probably get bored of Call of Duty somewhere around end of November, December time. So that'll be closer to Christmas for me to be able to enjoy the game. I don't really want to play a Christmas game in November, not really. I'd rather play it in December. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Should we talk about another one?
yes, mate, please.
Harry Potter. I didn't think it was going to be called Hogwarts Legacy, but that's pretty cool. I like the name. I guess the legacy makes sense because it's supposed to be in the 1800s. So
Yeah, man. We finally saw it. We finally saw it.
again, this is supposed to be similar in the way that I think you're supposed to be able to create your own character. So
Yeah, we
like
didn't.
you make a character who looks like you, or however you want them to look, so they can be
Yeah,
whatever color, whatever hair, whatever age, whatever. Although actually, it's probably supposed to be the same age because you join the school at the same time. Or gender, whatever you want it to be. And then yeah, hopefully you get to choose what house you want to be in as well. I'd be pissed if it's random. Like if you
sure.
go in, you have to answer like random questions, have a quiz, and then you get whatever house is like dependent on what your answers were. I'd hate that. So I guess that makes sense, but you're supposed to, like, even in the film, you're supposed to be able to choose what house you're supposed to be in. Like even if the hat says to you you're supposed to be in this one, you can tell it you actually want to be in another one. So I'm more excited about being in Slytherin. Slytherin all the way. Let's go.
Dude,
Slytherin is my house
if
now.
they go down the RPG route, they have to go all the way. They have to do character creation. And what's cooler is that you'll be able to interact, like you say, with probably the founding members of Hogwarts, and like
Yeah, I'll have
that's
to look that
cooler
up. Hang on.
than say being the founding member per se. I would say, but we don't
Yeah,
know much about this game. It's developed by Avalanche, the guys who made Just Cause, so that's interesting.
Just Cause. So yeah,
Very
all of the
interesting.
Just Cause games, or just the more recent ones?
Yeah, all the Just Cause games, Mad Max, also a really terrible game that came out either earlier this year or last
Yeah,
year.
so we're not going to be able to interact with Gryffindor because he was around the time of 19. He was around the time of 993. So he was before the year
Oh,
1000. He's been around at least.
oh, never mind. I take it back. I take it back.
And I want to say the rest of them were probably similar. So
Yeah. All right. Oh, that was fair enough. Don't know Harry
I
Potter
did
lore
think
enough.
actually, yeah, 993, 993, and yeah, they're all the same year, so it's fine.
Fine. Well, maybe we'll get flashbacks with them.
Maybe we'll get like descendants of them or something like their.
Or
Because
ghosts, or they go.
technically, Ravina is it Ravina Ravenclaw's daughter is in the films,
Is it a
like the ghost
ghost?
of her.
Yeah.
So, or Rowena,
Yeah.
yeah, her daughter's in
Mate, I'm
the
just
film.
gonna. So, are you excited about this, mate? I assume it's going to be delayed till
I
2022,
mean, we've been wanting
maybe.
one of these Harry Potter RPGs for years since the bloody films came out. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the film stopped coming out in 2012, so it's been 8 years since the last film. I want to say it's 2012. It might have even been 2011, 2010, but even so, came out a long time ago. So yeah, I think kids who have maybe been growing up with them recently might enjoy this also. So I mean, there's never not going to be an audience for Harry Potter. It will live on like Star Wars. It'll be amazing. Always be amazing.
One of the great things about Shadow of Mordor and its sequel is that it felt like it was the games we finally deserved to exist within that universe. I feel the same way about most of those universes and Fallen Order, where I think we just need games that stand up to the movies and the books. And
Yes,
we just haven't got them yet. I mean,
love Harry Potter now.
we got Batman Arkham trilogy.
Yeah, that was good.
It then took 10 years after that for us to get a Marvel game that reached the heights of the films, Spider-Man. And I know we've got other good Marvel games before, but I think Spider-Man's pretty
I'd say
special.
PS4 Spider-Man's probably the best Marvel game ever.
There you go.
I think that's like yeah, you can. That's like a known fact at this point. There is no other game that comes even close.
And now that we've had Shadow of Mordor, I'm thinking I want more good Lord of the Rings games. I want more good Star Wars games, and I want a good Harry Potter game. And I think that hopefully this is that.
Yeah, we had those terrible like
tie-in.
maybe like I think we had one on original Xbox and PS2 maybe. I want to say there was a couple like really bad Harry Potter games, but don't even really want to like think about those honestly.
I have some fond memories of those, to be fair, just because
Yeah,
I was young.
yeah, you didn't really know what good graphics were, I guess.
Well,
Yeah, we had a few other games that were kind of like whatever, I guess, like Call of Duty, Resident Evil Village, Deathloop, just showing off some like whatever stuff. Oddsworld, Five Nights at Freddy's game, Demon
that was a
Souls.
surprise. Demon Souls, that looked good. I think, to be fair, we were talking through the presentation, which probably didn't help. And looking back, the trailers did make more sense when it stopped blurting all the way through. But they weren't standout. What do you think, Jay?
What wasn't standout? Sorry.
All these trailers that you've just mentioned, basically.
Yeah, I mean they're not really for us. It kind of seems like, right?
Mm.
I think the Resident Evil Village, Call of Duty ones were probably more for me. Deathloop, I'm still not too fussed about at the minute. It might become better closer to the time. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. I know there's one person who absolutely loves the idea of that, so I'm glad for him.
Oh, good.
Oddsworld, again, we spoke about that, about how it being basically, I'm sure there's like 1,000 people who probably really appreciate it. Five Nights at Freddy's, again, small amount of people who probably really appreciate it. Demon Souls, a lot of people who I know are going to love that. And that was it, really. And then there was one other one, but we'll talk about that after you've said about these trailers, I guess.
No, I'm good, mate. You carry on.
Okay, yeah, so I guess the other one is probably one that you're more looking forward to, which was the God of War sequel, right?
boy.
Yeah, which I guess gives me more of an excuse to actually play the game now, doesn't it?
Jay, this I can't tell you how this announcement is ginormous. This and Horizon, I would say arguably
So
this.
God of War is a PS5 exclusive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so again, that'll be another selling point for them.
Oh, Jay, this game's huge. This game is huge.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, at the current stage, I have more hype for this than I do Horizon 2, but it's been some time since I played Horizon. It's been some time.
Sure.
But that's what mate. That's what I'm feeling, and this news is huge, mate. I just can't emphasize how much everyone wants the sequel.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad. Again, I'm not too fast at the minute.
It doesn't quite hit part 2 heights just yet, but it's very exciting. Very exciting.
No, there's obviously a lot of. I think there's again, like bigger distance between the games usually tends to you want the game more, right? So if this game was coming out in 2024, the sequel to God of War, I think people would probably enjoy it more just because it had been so long, right? If a game takes 7 years to make, you tend to want to play it more. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
And allow me to segue on that. It's getting delayed till 2022.
It is. You know that for sure.
I promise you.
Well, I mean, it says it's scheduled for sometime 2021. So
I know. It's getting delayed.
yeah, that'll probably be like either Christmas 2021 or like January, February, March 2022. Then I guess that'll
It'll
definitely
be
want to be Christmas time, won't it? Or like a colder time of the
yeah,
year.
it'll be good point. It'll be late. It'll be late, probably late November.
Okay.
It's big enough to launch in the busy window, I'd say.
Oh, definitely. Like games, I'd say like games that are released in September, October, November tend to do very, very well. And then games that are released February, March tend to do really, really well, but any other time tends not to be as good. I feel like, right? Like summer
Yeah.
games tend to sort of get put to the side because people are outside doing their thing, but this year it's been the opposite because everyone's been inside.
Yeah.
And then I guess Christmas time, I guess people are more worried about hanging out with their family, so not playing games as much. So as long as you can get the windows in between those two holidays, you're probably all right, really, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say,
Yes.
I don't think something may not be discussed here, which is that the God of War reboot, nobody expected it to be what it is.
Oh, okay, sure.
And now, I mean, maybe some people did, but generally, and now I'm thinking, oh no, everyone expects, it's it's a bit like the Last of Us problem, really.
Yeah, it's kind of. PlayStation tends to do that, don't they? They release these massive games that sort of have
Yeah,
their own name for them, and then when they try to do a sequel, they either there's a lot more expectation.
yeah,
So there'll be a lot of expectation for this, definitely.
oh, huge, huge. And the PlayStation Plus collection, which had a bit of mixed messaging, but essentially it seems like it's a load of PS4 games to play for free when you get PS5, so you can catch up on everything. And
Yeah, basically all like the big names, I guess, all the ones that are gonna have sequels that are coming up, like God of War and stuff like that, Last of Us. Yeah, all the heavy hitters basically.
yeah, give me your vibes on this and how you feeling at the moment.
What, just on the PlayStation event?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited for the next gen of stuff, but I'm not really thinking too much about PlayStation at the minute, honestly.
you thinking more
I feel
about
like PlayStation, for me, PlayStation always seems to be a little bit like how games are released. When they're released, they're not that good, but a year later, they're a lot better, right? So I feel like for me, PlayStation won't be really for me in my head until maybe next year. I'll probably get one before then, just because of Miles and Godfall, but yeah, I'm not really like thinking about it too much. So it's literally Cyberpunk is like the only thing that's in my mind at the minute.
okay.
So I'm not really like thinking about much else. I'm
Are
trying to
you
fill the gap, I guess. So anything between now and then that fills the gap. Like I played a little bit of like Magic because the new Magic sets come out today or yesterday, whenever it was. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy that it's all happening. really, and that we get to be a part of it. Um,
You finished the lore book then, as you mentioned earlier.
oh, what, for Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished that a while ago. I can't. I was debating on reading it again. Honestly, it's so fun. I kind of
How
wish it went into more detail. Honestly, there wasn't as much detail as I'd hoped.
really?
Oh, actually,
Okay.
that reminds me. I'm actually better send you a link.
Okay.
I might have even told you this. There's a like a I guess the ambulance service in Cyberpunk is called the Trauma Team, which is basically like you can pay a certain amount of money every year, and whenever you get shot randomly in the street by a gangster or whatever, or maybe you've been targeted by the corpos or whatever, or some sort of gang, or maybe you just got into an accident, you can get the trauma team to basically like come and fix you quickly. They're basically like healthcare in the future. Um, but there's a comic book or like a graphic novel that's been developed to sort of come alongside the game. It's sort of the individual comics themselves, I think, are already out now. But if you want to get the collection, the Volume 1 collection doesn't come out until February next year. So I've pre-ordered the collection. So in February next year, I'll be able to read the collection of Volume 1 of issues 1 through 4 of this Trauma Team. So
That's cool, man.
yeah, just more. I'm just excited about getting all the side stuff for Cyberpunk as well. I guess I'm hoping there'll be a lot of graphic, like a lot with like Star Wars. You obviously have like all the comics with that as well that are out at the minute, and like all this canon. I'm hoping this is like a side canon project, basically.
This might be a good time, Jay, to ask you about how further you'll go in a certain world. For me, I usually stick with the original media it's published in, generally. So, for
Oh, what
instance,
if it's just a game? You'll stick with the game, but if there's anything other type of media, you won't bother.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't usually, but I think because I'm so excited about Cyberpunk, I'm willing to try it out for this. Like, I'm not really willing to. I mean, there's so much other media for Star Wars that it's actually a little bit harder to start. But because Cyberpunk
Yeah.
is obviously is just now beginning, so it's a lot easier to start from the beginning than it is to just dive in the middle of it. Same with like any sort of like Marvel or DC stuff. It's so much harder to. I mean, you can dive in the middle depending on where you start, but it's a lot harder to find that than it is to with Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk's just beginning. So I'm willing to start from the beginning and hopefully it continues for a while because obviously we're getting this anime as well next year or the year after. So yeah, I'm willing to watch other media that it's to do with.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I'll love a game like The Witcher, and then I will, all Netflix show, all the books, but then I know deep down that I can either run out of fatigue or I can get fatigue in the franchise, in the universe, or I'll probably get halfway through the book and be like, "Am I really enjoying this?" You type of thing. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, I guess you kind of have to just like know within yourself how much you're willing to um,
It's all about the Goldilocks.
absorb, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Like if you're willing to absorb other books and things that are to do with a particular type of media, then go ahead. But if you can't, if you feel like you're going to get fatigued from it, then don't bother. I guess, yeah. Because also like Dragon Age as well. I've got a few Dragon Age books that I like, but Dragon Age kind of lends itself to do that, to like
sure.
have all these like separate stories. It's very much like a Star Wars where there's so much universe you can just fill it with whatever you want. And I feel like Cyberpunk has that kind of level. There's so much you can fill. There's so much going on within Night City, and even outside of it, and the rest of the world. So yeah, I'm hoping there'll be a lot of extra stuff, and that this is just the beginning. Can't wait. Because yeah, I'd rather actually read all those comics 1 through 4 in one go rather than getting them now as they're coming out like monthly or whatever they are.
Yeah,
Also, because
no,
I'll
yeah,
have played the game by then, so I'll have understood what the Trauma Team's really about.
yeah,
I'll get a much more in-depth version of that in the comics or whatever. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
All right, mate. Well, I think that's everything. Would you like to move on to Guess Who's Review?
yeah,
Guess
I'm a little bit
Who's
worried
Review?
because we said before about we didn't know what we've done in the past. Because I've
Yeah.
actually got all mine that I've done in the past written down,
Yeah,
but I haven't got yours.
I started mine. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jay, I got through 2 and I couldn't remember the rest.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I'm a bit worried that the two I've got for this week, or for this week and the week after next week, that we might have already done, but I'm going to take the risk and I'm going to see. I'm pretty sure we haven't, because I don't think you would have tried that with me. These are games, because you said last week that you wanted an easy one this week, so
I deserve an easy one.
yeah. So I'm hoping that these two are quite easy in
Okay.
comparison.
Well, for those who don't know, Jay, for those who aren't cool enough to listen to the show before, Guess Whose Reviews a quick little game we like to play. Basically, me or Jay, taking turns each week, we'll pick a random game review from a random media outlet. We'll give 3 quotes, and the other one's got to guess the game. And today, Jay has the game. I am the guesser. He owes me an easy one, because last time it was ridiculous.
I have a feeling you're going to get.
Oh, here we go.
I have a feeling you're going to get this straight away, and I'm worried that you're going to beat me, because it is 11-9 to me. So if you get this straight away, it's going to be 12-11 to you.
Okay. Do you want to say the hardest quote first? Will that help?
Well, that's the thing. They're all pretty easy, so I did it deliberately, so they're all fairly easy.
Okay, don't make it that easy, Jay.
Well, we'll see, because I haven't played this game enough to really know if it's easy or not. So we'll see.
Okay, fine.
Are you ready?
Aye, Captain.
Okay. Oh god, I'm so worried you're going to get it straight away. Okay, here we go. Which one do I say first? Actually, I might just do this one and leave this bit out, so we'll try this. Okay. I find the 40mm gauze-like cannon to be a great happy medium of short and long-range combat. That's pretty vague, but hard enough for it not to be too hard, and hard enough for it to be not too easy.
So I'm not guessing this. I'm thinking Mass Effect.
Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah.
I find the 40mm gauze-like cannon to be a great happy medium of short and long-range combat.
Yeah, see, I don't know whether this is really obvious and it's like Destiny or Destiny 2.
Or what games that you've played has a 40mm gauze-like cannon in it?
See, yeah, you give me the eye roll. I know it. I know it.
Okay.
Gauze-like?
Yeah, like a gauze cannon. A gauze cannon is like a
yeah.
type. I mean, they have gauze cannons. I think in Fallout, they have them in a few other things. Maybe
40mm gas.
I mean, technically they're in Call of Duty because they're part of artillery, I guess. I think gauze is something to do with how large a weapon is.
I know this is obvious, but when you don't know the game and you've got a million games to choose from, it's not that obvious.
No, but again, I did choose this game to be an easy one for you, so take that into consideration. This is tailored towards you. Tailor-made for you in need.
Tay. I mean, I know when you say to me 40mm Gauss cannon, I'm like, what game is that?
Okay, do you want to have a guess?
No, I want to keep thinking.
Okay. I might have to press you. Too long of a time.
40mm Gauss cannon. Oh no, I'm gonna
absolutely
him. Yeah, sure.
I think it's Gorse.
I don't know. I know it. That's the problem.
All right, we'll have a guess, and then if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. Get it right, you get it right. You're going to really kick yourself.
I know I am, because 40mm, because I know that everyone picks that weapon in this game, because I know... Just say Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, your guess?
Yeah.
Nope, that's not it. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I mean, technically we've already had Mass Effect, so that was probably a bad guess.
Well, I had Mass Effect 2 for you, didn't I?
Yeah, I wasn't going to do Mass Effect 1 or 3, so you're alright.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Whether you're jetpack jumping and wall running as a pilot or dashing around with your lateral jets.
I hate you, you little... Oh, it's Titanfall. It's Titanfall.
So you got 2 points. We're even, 11-11.
You bastard.
I was going to start with that, but I thought that's probably too easy.
Oh,
you would have got it if I told you that first.
I know exactly what the weapon is now as well. You're in a Titan.
Yeah, so the end of that first quote was in the Atlas, and I thought that might be too obvious.
Yeah, that would have been too obvious.
Yeah.
What was the last quote?
The last quote was, "As empowering as it is to play as Goliath, David still has more than a fighting chance thanks to their many equitable abilities." Would you have got it from that?
That would have been a bit hard, to be fair.
Yeah. I wasn't sure because the names kind of make me think that it's probably fairly obvious.
Yeah, names in Titanfall. I mean, but where'd you get the game review from, Jay?
I want to say it was GameSpot, maybe.
Okay. Do you know what they gave it?
I think it was an 8.
Oh,
It did really well. Titanfall did really well when it first came out, didn't it?
Oh, it needs a 9 or a 10. I mean, please,
I don't know.
please.
So yeah, I've got the next one ready for the week after next. So hopefully you won't pick that one.
Okay, I haven't got yours ready yet, but I've
Okay,
got an idea.
I'm going to write the score in here just so I remember because I keep forgetting what it bloody is.
All right, mate.
There we go. So now I know what it is. Okay. We're even. So next week I should at least get one and I should be ahead. So it should be fine.
I won't pick that hard. I'll pick an interesting one next week.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Glad. That's if we stick to it. We've missed a week, so we're finally behind a little bit, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's been a while since we've recorded, but
it's been a busy 2 weeks.
It's been a busy 2 weeks,
and it's going to continue to be a busy next 3 months for me and you probably.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was for different reasons.
Thinking about this, Jay. How the hell are we going to fit all these specials in when games actually start coming out? And how are we going to afford them? Oh, I never bought this many new games in my entire life this quickly.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried actually about game prices because I didn't really factor that into what I can afford over the next couple of months. I've only really factored.
Mate.
I might have to not get myself a new TV. I might have to just buy this one new console and then the games that come with it.
Wouldn't you rather get a new TV and only a couple of games?
Yeah, I mean that's probably the plan. Because the TV I've got in mind, I think it's $370 maybe.
And also, mate, if you get Valhalla and Cyberpunk, they're going to keep you busy for a long time, hopefully.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is minimum 10 days. Not Cyberpunk. Valhalla is like minimum 10 days, I'd say. Like, it'll take me at least 10 days to get as far as I want. Like 100 hours is usually a good gauge on an Avenger.
Yeah.
On an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
And Cyberpunk, to me, I want to play that game for as long as possible. I might even slow down on that game.
What, go Nick speed?
No, I'll go my speed, but it won't be. It'll start off because we spoke about this on the phone maybe about like starting out slow. I might like start out a bit slower than I would initially need to. Because I was actually thinking about it while I was watching Night City Wire a little while ago. Do I want to play this game where I look at everything before I move on to the next bit, or do I just want to like run through an area and then come back to it like hours later or something? Because in my mind, I kind of want to I want to know this city like the back of my hand. I already know like where all the districts are and where they're placed and where all the gangs are placed because I've read the book. But I kind of want to know like where a certain alleyway is, because they've actually, the one thing they did say in the Night City Wire that isn't too much of a spoiler is that every street has got a name. So if I ever talk to you about a certain place and I can go, oh, it's on this street, and you'll go, oh, I know that street, it's next to this street, right? And on this junction, I can be like, yeah, something, say the landmarks, stuff like that, right? So as long as you know that information, I feel like you can kind of like almost feel like you're in the game. So I'm more excited about that than anything else. I can't, honestly, it's going to be like living there. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so shitty because there's going to be so much crime and gore and awful stuff.
Truly,
honestly, there's so much stuff that I know that I can't wait for you to know.
Sure.
I can't wait for you to be like, that's so cool. Why has nobody ever done that in a movie before? It just makes so much sense. Like, they're so futuristic. It's so cool.
Mate, again, we can't really talk about it that much because we'll just start getting...
That was just, you know...
No, it's fine. No, I appreciate... I mean, the street thing sounds really cool. I get a bit worried because I'm like, that sounds confusing. I don't even know this street 2 streets down from me, the name of that. But we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, I'd rather know the streets in the game than where I live. So there you go.
True that. Anything you want to talk about? You're going to maybe play, Jay, in the next
Yeah, I mean,
week?
I touched on the new Magic set being out. I'll probably play that at least a little bit. And over this weekend, I'll probably play the Call of Duty Alpha as much as I can, just to get a feel for it, whether I actually want to buy it or not. What else is happening? I'll be watching some anime.
So Ghost of Tsushima's been out. What do you
Mm,
think they're going to do after launch, if anything? I mean, maybe they'll release a PS5 version, but do you think they'll maybe do more single player content?
nah.
No. What
No.
about? I mean, this isn't like the game, but what about a battle royale mode? Would you think they'd go there?
Nope.
Okay. Multiplayer PvP.
By no means.
Okay. Horde mode or
Not
wave.
likely.
Okay. What about additional singular characters from the story, a bit like Avengers?
I think not.
Okay. Horse armor?
Not possible.
What about different weather or really quirky game modes like in The Last of Us Part 2?
Certainly not.
Cosmetics?
Not now.
Changing gender?
Sorry?
How about a new difficulty?
No thanks.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Have you got any ideas?
How about a new online cooperative multiplayer mode that will come as a free download for Ghost of Tsushima owners on PS4 later this year?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good, mate. Yeah.
All right.